Good to see everybody. How are you? Bears Game Podcast. This is Victor G coming at you today on the final day of the New Year's. It is really great to thank you for the subscriptions. We hit it 100. We hit 100 subscribers. I mean, it might be 101. That's quite a little in a short time from September when I started this channel, beginning first week of the season to now 100 subscribers. A fair few of those were friends, but most of those were organic, and that is awesome. And I just want to say I'm very super thankful. If this is your first time, again, nice to meet you. I understand that when you start a new YouTube channel, most of the people that see you are seeing you for the very first time. So thank you, nice to meet you. What we've been doing here on the channel is covering this train wreck of a team throughout the year. It's one thing that, sometimes Bears fans can argue. And right now they're currently arguing about the dumbest thing, and I'll let you know what that is in a sec. We'll get to that. But we are more united than ever, I believe, in maybe Bears history. Have never been so united. I'll tell you why. Because when a team goes through these things, a team that's loyal to their fan base, pick a team that's been through it. Think about Detroit Lions. They've been through it. They went, before last year's victory, they went almost from 1991 was their last playoff win. 1991, a single playoff win. Before that, I believe it was like a championship in 1957. Detroit's been through it. Hey, don't need to throw no shade. Oh, right now, there's always the toxic fan base that loves to start it with our toxic fan base. And they go at it. This is not that here. If you were a toxic person, this channel's not for you. Because you'll see how if you go back, we're going to do starting in, probably in about less than a week, we're going to do a video where I have predicted from I believe it was week 6 against the Arizona Cardinals. When we lost that game, I said, uh-oh. I said, we're in trouble. We were going to just lose every single game for the rest of the year. I predicted this. So you'll see how this is not a pessimism. It's that prediction came from years and years. I've been a fan since 1985. I was in first grade. I go way back. I'm kind of old. I don't look it, but I am. We go back decades. Now, when I started really following the Bears is when I started working in a nice restaurant in Chicago. It's called Gale Street Inn. Wonderful place. Go check it out, Chicago. And the owner loved the Bears. I mean, it's always like a love, like all of us, passionate person, love-hate relationship for the team because it's just like great times. Oh, the passion, the rooting in the bar, everyone excited for one good year in early 2000s. And then we came out of it a little bit later and we went in 06 to the Super Bowl. But that really got me into wanting to follow in my 20s. And when I was 21, 22, I was like, you know what? This is a fun little hobby. And I've always liked football, but I didn't understand it in my high school years. So I was like, you know what? Let's dive in. And so kind of like an OCD person that I am, I would listen to strictly before YouTubers, because there really wasn't that much YouTube then. It was all about, the pros. You listen to the retired pros, Barry Sanders, Walter Payton videos, Tom Brady talking, the greats. I listen to what they have to say. Recently retired players. I loved watching after the Super Bowl. What, that little video they do, what everyone was thinking in the moment of the win or the loss, whatever. And then especially going back further, like Tom Brady's first Super Bowl, what was going on with the great Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that team, the one that won prior to Tom Brady, the one that won, I believe, about 16, 17 years ago. That team I'm driving. It's early. The tight end, the defensive player, he just a legend. This is about 16 years ago. It was great to see that those highlights, and that's what really got me into this sport. So what we're dealing with now in Chicago is just It's unique. It's unique. It's unique because when you're of the top bottom three in the league, there's always a unique reason why. And it's sometimes you can always say, oh, ownership. Sometimes the ownership has good in some owners. I'm not saying about Chicago. I don't know George McCaskey personally. I don't know the owners of the Jets or the Giants. The teams that really struggle. The Browns, they have had rough years. I don't know these people personally, but you can see some common denominators in ownership. So you start to really gather what, the common denominators. But when it comes to the Bears, of course, it's been the easiest to follow. The easiest. Because I live in this town. You hear about it every day. I've met many Chicago Bears players, current and former. Not for me, current at the time I met them. Now I have not met any players from this team currently. But at the time I've met players, I've been in the restaurant business for 30 years in Chicago. You always, if you're at nicer places, you will run into these players. Sometimes they come in by the boatload before a big game. I worked downtown for over a decade. And I got to stand next to Cam Newton. What a good dresser, let me tell you. I got to stand next to, I met many players. Brian Urlacher's brother, never got a chance to meet Brian Urlacher himself. Many players from that 2007 team would pop in because they lived in Chicago for a long time. It was great. It was great. So that's what really, really got me into it. And then when I had children, let me tell you, when I had kids, what really pulled me into it was being a dad, throwing a jersey on your kids' back. They have a good game, and to watch your kids, yay! And I'm, happy, and they're happy. But I have to say, I have some regrets because this team, I'm a very passionate person. This team over the years, the Jay Cutler era, all the eras that we've gone through, the great Nagy era, and I'll get to that. That era, that year, I have to almost give Matt Nagy, as much as I wanted him gone by his last year, the year he gave us was special for me because my kids were just cheering and rooting, and it was one of the funnest. We were bonding and talking about the Bears. I almost could get emotional about it. Really. It's the most special time for me in my life. Of course, them entering my life. But to drop off, especially at that time, I was dropping off my youngest often. And almost every single day, my youngest son would say something about the Bears. How do you think we're going to win the Super Bowl, Dad? Oof, I don't want to get emotional right now. But yeah. Oh, sorry, guys. That's really how I got the bug for this team. That's how this team really, for my kids. I like the team, and I started to love the team for what it did for my family. The Club W year, I'll tell you, say what you want, make fun of it, be that person. But to do Club Dub to watch your wife and your children dancing, that was a special year. And to go out the way we did with the double doink, was it the wind, the block? It's going to happen. Can you be really angry at the end of the year? Frustrated? Yes. But anger, is a fine line when you look back, when you step back and say, hey, you had a good time. You had many games. And the biggest thing is the Bears didn't let me down on my son's birthday. The games against the Rams where Mitch Trubisky beat the Rams. It was super cold. And my son's birthday's in early December, and they won. And that was special to me. That was special. That win, that victory. Oh, there's a video. I may include it one day if ever I can. I'll throw it in there on this channel. We were chanting Super Bowl, Super Bowl. Yeah, we didn't get there, but that year was fun. We were division champs. We beat Aaron Rodgers that year. Are you kidding me? We beat Aaron Rodgers. Mitch Trubisky, who, it's just for a fun fact, it was the last quarterback to beat Aaron Rodgers. was good old Mitch Trubisky, the guy that we love to dump on all the time. Poor guy. He did more for us that 1 year than the last 2 quarterbacks has done in 6 or 5. How do you want to say it? In 5 years. Love our, I got a jersey. I love our quarterback. I love our team. You'll see me wear, maybe you've seen me wear the Justin Fields 1 jersey, the white one. I'm a fan, or Khalil Mack. I'm a real, true blue fan. So if ever name came off earlier in the season, I think bitterness got to me. On a reflective note, this is the end of the year to reflect. Bitterness may have gotten a hold of me throughout the year because, or maybe just always an attention to realism. I always stay in this realism. This team, after Game 6 with Arizona, I know you thought the Commanders, how the bump, it could have fell in our hands. It fell the other way. Those moments, yes, we could have prevented it, of course. But that really wasn't. You could say it was the first game, yes, on the streak. Yes. But technically, you would say that the Bears were going to win other games, but they're going to lose the hard games, and beat the not great teams, the bad teams. You would think that. You would be wrong. But I was right. I'm going to put a video maybe in a few days. I will try to get it out tomorrow if I can. I doubtful, but it'd be great if I could get it out. The prediction. I was like, you'll see. You'll see it for yourself. Please, I highly encourage you, because it freaked me out. It freaked me out how I had this foresight. After the Cardinals game, I said, I looked at the way things took place. Now, at the time, I believe we were only 4-3. Wait, 4-4. That was 4-4. I believe we were 4-2 going into the Commanders. Then right, it's 4-3. Okay, we lost to the Commanders. I was like, all right. No one was going to say, oh yeah, this. I mean, maybe a few. A few were really listening to me. Maybe a few were like, hey, maybe this guy knows something. Or you were listening to some of the other wise people that said, I have seen this, before. I have seen this before. So, come the Cardinals game, I said, that's it. This is before the disastrous games. That all the headlines, every game after, was just, oh, the block kick, Green Bay. Oh, Lord, Minnesota, the overtime fumble. Oh, right, Detroit, the missed clock time management. Oh, the no timeout Detroit game, the first one. You can say all that, okay? I just went straight. Maybe I was off by the ass kicking, the amount, in a few of the games. It's funny. The ones that we almost could have had, I predicted a major loss. And the ones that I thought were beatable, I predicted like possible win, but maybe not. And then I said towards the end of this video that I will put out, I was like, you know what? We're probably going to lose every single game for the rest of this year. And I went online and I showed. I went by game by game by game. I was like, oh, wow, we're on a 3-game streak to face our division. I mean, it doesn't happen often where it's like, really? What are the chances, guys? What are the chances that our division starts off, we started off 4-2. The Lions were strong. Minnesota, Green Bay. They're like, everyone said it. Remember? This is the best division in football. And it still is, minus us. These 3 teams, they're all going to go in the playoffs. I think, you know what? Minnesota might creep around. Lions are kind of beat up. And I believe, who was it? The Minnesota beat Green Bay. So, and I believe Lions lost, maybe. I didn't check. Did the Lions lose to San Francisco last night? I don't know. I feel ashamed. I should find that out. And I will put it right here when I edit this video what the score was. Because I didn't check. I feel so bad. I looked and I looked away. I'm a terrible person. Forgive me. No, I'm not. So to just round this up, I will put this video out. It is very interesting. You will enjoy it. I think it was amusing to look back at my own self and see, what did I say after the Arizona game? At the end, what did I say? What was I feeling after that loss? And it was interesting. And I think it'd be interesting to do reactions to my reactions. Let me know in the comments if you think it's funny. Because I think that I don't take myself seriously. I am not that guy. And especially, I'm like, sometimes I have to, if you guys only knew how many videos I record, 20, 15, 18 minutes and just delete. I just delete them. I'm just like, you know what? There's no good. People aren't going to like this. Maybe it's me up here. But I really do put some thought in what I do here. And I try to lead with my heart. And I think that's the right way. And we'd always say, remember, truth and accountability. That includes me, especially myself. I'll start there and work my way down the clock. So you guys know that I have integrity. That I'm going to hold myself accountable to what I say about this team and what I say in my predictions. And then we'll go down the chain, starting with George McCaskey, our big pain in the ass. Since 2011, he became chairman from his brother. 2011. Does everyone see when this all, excuse me, we had a good year with Cutler. We went to the NFC Championship and we lost. You remember that, to Aaron Rodgers. 2010. 2010, we lost, and he went on to win the Super Bowl. Then everything else just went, remember? Dived. Do you remember after that loss, the following year, we didn't go back to the playoffs. It was just nosedive. Then we went through the Mark Trestman era, the John Fox era. We went through, who was after John Fox? Then the Matt Nagy era, which we had that great year, like I mentioned, in 2018. But we didn't learn after Matt Nagy. We went someone, by far, I believe, by far worse. He didn't give us a winning season. Matt Eberflus. He was on his third season. This would be his year 3, and his record was terrible. I think he had 14 wins, 34 losses. Really, really bad. Caleb's not in a good place. And this is where I want to talk about at the end, really just how we're all really united, but we don't realize it. Some do. Some do, some don't. But you know who realizes it? The people that aren't Bears fans. They're professionals. They're the pros talking about us. Those of you get a really good idea. What does the world, speaking about this country, NFL, what does the fans of the NFL, especially the people in Europe, they watch us. There's a lot of Bears fans in Europe. A lot in London. If there's any people in London, hey, Canada, I know some fans that are Chicago Bears fans in Canada that come and check out my channel. That's amazing. We love you guys. So there's Bears fans all around the world. But what does the NFL, like around the league, how they look at us? Non-biased. That was key. It was a great interview I saw. Non-biased. And they said, guys, they say, this is what they said, and this is the consensus. You're going to have your toxic fans that are like, the stupid stuff about the paint of the nails. I'm not going to lie. The thing we all can cry after a game. But jumping up into the stands, crying like that, it was just right before he was drafted. Well, it was the year before. It just, I was like, okay, he's not afraid to show his emotions. But watching him through the year, his emotions, very happy when we win and very upset when we lose. So I'm like, okay, we're good. Because I'm not going to hang. Had he started crying in this league, it'd be a whole other story. I was worried at first. I'm not going to lie. At first, I was like, I didn't care about the nails. I got friends and cousins and family members. They paint their nails. They're married. They got girlfriends or whatever. It doesn't matter if they're not. I don't care what people do cosmetically or privately. I do not care. This is a channel about football. So with Caleb, he worried me at first. He has had, with the hype, that was unfair media hype. This hype through the roof that he was going to be this generational thing. He didn't help. He didn't help by telling people. He didn't have the humble attitude that Justin Fields did. I'm not going to lie. He did not have the humble attitude. So we could have gone two ways, and I get it. There's defense on both sides. But Windy City Breeze said something amazing the other day. If we would have, this amazing thought, think about this. If we would have kept Justin Fields, okay? We would have kept him. Do you what you've seen him do? This is Ryan Poles. He had the master plan that he wanted to win from the quarterback, not just from the team around. He wanted to win by the quarterback. So, Justin, you weren't that guy. Ryan Poles. We're just speaking Ryan Poles and Eberflus perspective. He's not our guy. They didn't like him. They didn't draft him. They wanted somebody that they could put their sticker on. And what better time? He picks up, the timing is insane. He gets the first round draft pick prior. So now everyone's crowning this guy King Poles. Wow, how that didn't age well. King Poles. Be careful who you crown king. And be careful who you label your best friend. Word to the wise from an old guy. Be careful who you label king. Be careful who you label your best friend. You just never know. You could get let down. So, we got Poles, who promised us all these things. Communication, build to the draft, candor. We're going to, this and that, the 7 promises. I'm going to put a link right here, the video right here, the 7 promises and the 7 failures. Right over here, I'm going to put that link in the video. It'll be great. Please watch it. It's done well. And people have been resonating with what I was saying. Because I'm a fan. Hello? I won a Super Bowl. But I need to hold people's feet to the fire. Including my own. We'll all be in the fire. We'll all be in it together. We'll all be in it together. And we'll all get better together. That's my ultimate goal. And I need you guys, subscribers. We need to come together. More subscribers, more and more people to be heard. Because right now we're small. We're small. But sometimes this video does hit. Some of my videos do hit, 1,000, 2,000 something views. We're getting there. Little by little is the beginning. But in Year in Reflect, this year was one of the worst seasons I have ever witnessed. I mean, from a Bears fan, from this team, the worst. Just in not only just losing, it was the fashion of the losing. The fashion and how you could do a highlight reel. Someone is going to put together a highlight reel, game by game, wins and losses. And even in some of the wins are the scary clues. Even in the games we won, especially game 1. Remember game 1 was won without touchdowns? Game 1, we didn't score by touchdowns. We scored by a touchdown by a pick 6. Not by the offense, it was by the defense. Offense scored nothing, a kick. The offense, so Caleb was struggling from week 1 in this league against a team that we beat. And then we had something going on, and then we were clicking for a little bit there against some bad teams, and then just dive bombed. We are all together. I'll tell you why. Again, because if you wanted to keep Justin Fields, your guy is Ryan Poles. If you wanted to go with Caleb and go his route, and you think he is a talented guy, which I believe he's talented, but I also believe they've broken him. His story, okay, we'll stay on track. Whether you believe we should have kept him, either way, Ryan Poles is still your guy. We are united in whether you wanted to keep Fields. But the thing is, do you have the trust that this guy would have pulled it off? Do you trust that Ryan Poles, if he would have kept Justin Fields, would have built the O-line? Who would have came? Because we got rid of Lugetzi. Who would have replaced? They chose Shane Waldron because of Caleb Williams. That was a pairing. We're like, bye-bye, Justin. We're going to go get Shane Waldron, and we're going to go draft. They all knew everyone knew they were going to get Caleb because they had the number 1 pick. So no surprise, he was picked first. So either one, if you wanted Caleb or if you wanted Justin, we're together because the man Ryan Poles failed us. Ryan Poles, at the end of the day, who's the general manager? You got to trace the string up to the top. You want to throw darts at Caleb. Everyone wants to throw darts at Caleb because he's the quarterback. And the quarterback is always the easy target. Always in this city. In this city, if you've been around for a while, we always throw the darts at the quarterback. This is one set of fan base that loves to do this. We did it with Jay. I was there throwing darts at Jay because Jay drove me bananas. Mitch, I was rooting for him, but he had some years, later on, towards the end of the year, his last season, he just wasn't the guy. I knew that. But Nagy was doing him no favors, and the team did him no favors either because he was getting sacked Do you remember what happened with the famous Mitch Trubisky got up there and said, I had no time. Then they replaced him, put Nick Foles in. Do you remember that, guys? History. Nick Foles, if people don't remember, Nick Foles was then replaced him. He got benched, Trubisky. Then Nick Foles said, I have no time. Does this all now sound familiar? The Bears do not know how to build O-lines. Look up Olin Kreutz, his podcast. Listen to what he says. Listen to Olin Kreutz. You want to know who's my guru? Olin Kreutz. I listen to him all the time. He played for the Chicago Bears, and he is extremely critical because he sees that there's no reason. He said, if I was the GM, I'd be asking questions. If I was the GM and losses like that, people would be getting fired. Or if I was the owner, he would say, if I'm George, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm making things happen so this doesn't happen again. Olin Kreutz is the best. He's all over it. That's who my guy. He's one of my main. And I listen to the other Chicago Bears former players that have seen the debauchery of this team. They have seen it over and over and repeat history. It's all about what they say is history repeating itself. This is Olin Kreutz. Best line. It's history repeating itself over and over and over again and doing nothing. And isn't it amazing how they won't, the arrogance that they won't hire Olin Kreutz to come in as an advisor. You pay him. You pay that man millions. You pay that man. You give that man a check. Swallow your pride. If you want to see the Bears go to the Super Bowl, if you want to see that and just be that team for extended period, no more one Super Bowl every 40 years. We're talking about you get Olin Kreutz, a guy like him, in the front office. You get him as an advisor, and you get him to ship things. Heck, hire him as the next GM. Hire Olin Kreutz as the next head coach. You will see championship team. I guarantee you. Unless they get a guy like that who can be hard-nosed, critical about what, because right now this team could not be in more of a dumpster fire state. And people are right now, is Pete Carroll coming in? Is he maybe, who knows? No one knows for sure. It's all rumors right now. It's the rumor mill. Pete Carroll, everyone thinks he's going to be the guy to come in. He's old. Some people say he's older. He's too old. Some people say he's the guy. They can change it around. Fun fact, Pete Carroll has never had a season with less than 7 wins. Isn't that crazy? Less than 7. Never. That's wild. This video is a long one, guys, so popcorn. Forgive me for not saying that in the beginning. It's a big video. I have a lot to say. It's the end of the year video. So we're going to go out with a bang. So we have that. You got to get somebody in there to really get them in there. Someone that they're not afraid to hear the truth, the hard truth. According to the news, Kevin Warren is not happy with the way things are, and he's going to be involved with this next coaching pick. If it's Ben Johnson, can he turn this around? I don't know. Can a offensive coordinator come into this wreck and flip this? Because this table needs to be flipped. This team, you know what the league says about us? This is what the league says about us. Go around, watch YouTube videos. I mean, just listen to me. Everyone who is not a Bears fan channel, that's the best. You get the best stuff. Non-Bears, you get our opinion. Sometimes it's biased. Sometimes, like me, no, it's not. It's right to it. It's right to it. We are terrible. We're a terrible team right now. Terrible. As a team, Caleb Williams owns part of that too. And all of the offense, Cole Kmet, DJ Moore has regressed. He's not the player he was last year. And I believe it's something deep down, like I don't like that guy, Caleb. Maybe he doesn't like him. Maybe deep down he doesn't like him. He's professional. So he's not going to say it out loud. I feel like people aren't with Eberflus, they didn't care. They let it out. Jalen Johnson says, you know what? We're done. We're done. We're done with this guy. And in the locker room almost got into a fight. So this team has its limits. And love it or like it. Love it or like it. What happened with Eberflus? They were done with that. They were just done hearing. They were done with it. It was just like done. So we had to move on. We had to get rid of him. And getting rid of Eberflus, it was almost like, well, yeah. Who's really expected? I mean, I had high hopes, but for Thomas Brown to come in as the interim head coach, and then this team is run by assistant coaches. So you're not gonna win these games. Because also, it seems like there's no trust. There's no nothing. It's just, it is what it is. Everyone talks about it, but you get the best view from people that, radio channels, podcasters that aren't Bears fans, the outside looking in, and how they view us. Ooh, it's embarrassing. So we got to change this around, get new culture in here, and we'll hope for the best for this new year, because this next game against Green Bay next week, Sunday at noon, I believe. I'm not doing a prediction video. We already know what's going to happen. Green Bay's just going to really quickly mop the floor with us with their backups. And just this season, everyone, I believe, especially the Bears, wants the season to be over. You can see it. They're playing like it. Last week, they scored 3 points. And that goes on the entire team. Quarterback, down to the offense. The defense held their own. The team scored 2 kicks. That's all they scored. But that'll tell you how bad this offense is. 3 points. They say that this game was one of the worst Thursday night football games in history. So, just to give you a figure, this is not me, my opinions. This is what everyone is saying. So, yes. Woo. Let's get it out. Let us have a good New Year's. I wish everybody a happy New Year's. Thank you if you've watched this long video. I made a big one. It's the last New Year's Eve video of the year. It was a lot to say, a lot to get out. So, friends, God bless. Take care. Happy New Year. And we'll catch you on the flip side. Bye-bye.